listen, another Philosophy Friday video for everybody. If you're new to the channel, Philosophy Friday, it's all about life lessons through music. So today, like we do every week, we're going to go over a concept that you either learn in life and it can relate it back to music, or you can learn it in music and then it can relate to life too. So today's lesson, make your own path, okay? You could also look at this as, I'm very much like, I'm always like, it's not black and white, it's gray. That's like a common theme in my life and conversations. It's not black and white, it's gray. It's not black and white, it's gray. So you could also say it's not black and white, it's gray. But for today's perspective, we'll stick with make your own path. And what I mean by that is, you know, things may be defined a certain way, and that's cool, but always feel free to loosen your interpretation of that if, you know, it's something that you want to mend or mold. So in terms of, let's say, the guitar, there's a lot of different tunings, a lot of different gauge or thickness of your strings, right? And typically the guitar is tuned to E, A, D, G, B, and C, right? But when I started playing, I love the bending sound. You know, I really like to bend them, and then so I at first I got thinner strings so that I could bend them more, but then I started breaking them all the time, so then I got thick strings and tuned them down. Tune it down to E flat, because it's harder to bend thicker strings that are, you know, tuned the same or tuned tightly, but if you loosen them, it almost feels the same. And a lot of people do this. So E flat is a very common tuning, just, you know, half a fret down. But I started noticing at, like, you know, open mics and things like that, because you're like right next to it, it's such a weird key for people that are tuned normally. And so what I then started doing was down tuning 2 frets or a whole step. So instead of E flat, you know, A flat, D flat, it's D, G. So yeah, D, G. See, I just think of it in colors now. So like, I'm like, what is, I don't even know what it is. I just know they're not flats. So it's D, G, C. This is so funny. Yeah, you can really tell that I don't go over this right. Okay, so instead of E, it's D. Instead of A, it's G. Instead of D, it's C. Instead of G, it's F. Instead of B, it's A. And instead of E, again, it's D. So it makes like, you know, an E chord is a D chord. A G is an F. It makes it so even though it's different, the tuning, it's a lot easier for, you know, a D standard guitar to play along with the E standard guitar than an E flat guitar to play along with anybody. Really, if you know your strings, it doesn't matter at all. But what I mean by, you know, make your own lane is, you know, use inspirations, but don't just think about that as the limit. Still always feel free to challenge it or change it. So, and it's funny now because now it like D standard tuning is like such a common thing now. But somewhere, I don't know if it's between 2008, 2010, maybe 11. I don't know when. I basically just got in the habit of tuning to D standard and leaving it there. So it doesn't matter if you tune to D, E, E flat, doesn't matter. It's easy to play along with. And I never have to switch tunings anymore necessarily. But let's say you were inspired to play down at E flat, and then you really liked it, but then later you want to switch it up, you know, you have to go through those changes again. But if you always just think about the specific things that you're doing, you know, yeah, I'm detuning to this other note, but, you know, I'm detuning. Let's just think about the detuning, you know, try alternate tunings if you haven't done that before. But with the guitar and in music, but specifically the guitar and strings, and, you know, flipping it right hand and left hand, it's always good to think about, you know, your inspiration, but then feel free to change it. Feel free to make your own lane. Do your own thing, especially with music. It's so personal. You can say it's oversaturated, but it's so personal that why would you limit yourself to doing just what someone else has done. Instead of channeling yourself to doing, something new, or the same thing but in a new way, because it's hard to do something new, let's be serious. But so again, today is Philosophy Friday. Make your own lane. So just like in life, if you're going to want to do a career, right, got to talk about the life side of the lesson. If you're going to want to do something or excel in anything you want to do you want to just be average? Do you want to just do what everybody else does? No. You want to kick ass and, make your own lane and stand out. There are some things in some places and, where there are some times maybe you just want to like get by. And that's a different type of perspective and conversation. But one way that you can just get by is that when you get to wherever you're going, you make your own lane. You're able to do something so personalized in a way that, it's hard for other people to recreate, and then it makes it even more special. So as in life, especially with work and business, but in life in general, you want to make your own lane, So whether it's life or music, you want to, make your own lane. Anyway, so thank you for joining another Philosophy Friday on your Music Medicine channel. I am Steven, and I will see you later. Much love.